Toxic recovery. Trauma recovery. Toxic recovery. Trauma recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery. Trauma recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery. Trauma recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery. Trauma recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery. Trauma recovery. Toxic recovery. Trauma recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery. Trauma recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery, yeah. Trauma recovery, yeah. Toxic recovery, yeah. Trauma recovery, yeah. Toxic recovery, yeah. Yeah. I'm sick of abusive, narcissistic relationships. Sick of emotional trips. Sick of the lies that roll off your lips. Play me like some type of script. Gaslight me to keep me in grips. Time to cut ties and quit with the snip. Ready to get on the path of toxic recovery. Trauma recovery, yeah. Toxic recovery, yeah. Trauma recovery, yeah. Toxic recovery, yeah. You said it was love and all of your above, but you wanna suffer, yeah. Trauma recovery, yeah. Toxic recovery, yeah. Trauma recovery, yeah. Trauma recovery, yeah. Trauma recovery, yeah. Trauma recovery, yeah. You said it was love and all of your above, but you wanna suffer. Trauma recovery, yeah. Trauma recovery. Toxic recovery. Trauma recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery. Yeah.
Disclaimer. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only, and I often refer to toxic narcissists and general abusers as delusional, crazy, and mentally unstable. A, because if anyone should be described as this, it's these types. And B, because when we're in these toxic, narcissistic, or generally abusive dynamics, we often give their behaviour far too much respect, which keeps us in the cycle for longer. It is my hope that my mocking of their behaviour encourages you to take that respect away. Now, if you've been diagnosed with a general mental health condition, please know that at no point am I mocking or talking about you. I consider that to be a separate issue that I take very seriously. And with that being said, let's get into it. Hello. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about Dwight Howard and how powerful toxics silence and punish. Because I think this is a perfect example of exactly that. This guy, though social media has taken it in a whole different direction, by the way. Social media is focused on, for those of you who don't know, Amy, his wife, came out, did an expose in her car of everything that had happened. Well, not everything that had happened, the most current things that had happened in that relationship. And social media has taken it and run with it and have decided to make it about everything except what she actually spoke about, quite frankly. We need to talk about it because this is the kind of thing that I hate to see. I hate to see it, and it's here once again. So let's get into it. Guys, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Hit that bell and subscribe and hit that bell so you get a notification every time I go live. Sorry, I'm running a little bit late today, so I'm just doing everything on the go. Say hi in the comments and let me know your thoughts as we get into it. Okay, so let's talk about Amy Luciani, by the way, who is amazingly beautiful. She is she's gorgeous. I didn't know anything about Howard, Dwight Howard. He's an MBA, NFL. I don't know. I can't keep up. He's an athlete. First red flag, right? So anyway, she goes public. Let's go ahead and play the video, a section of the video, based on what she said when she went public. This was her story.
Daughter was just taken by CPS because of her father. CPS and the police have been here 3 times in less than 3 months, and I stood in it with my husband, even though I was scared for my own self. Whatever he wanted me to say, whatever it was, I'm thinking this is my husband. I had everybody around me saying, even after I tried to divorce him the first time, everybody around me says, you can't leave your husband as soon. You said the sickness will help through death. You said good or bad. That's why I came back, but this is going way too far. But this ain't about me, it's about the kids. The stuff I had to go through with it. He had him lying. I recorded.
Right. So basically, CPS, she came out to say that CPS took her stepdaughter, his daughter, right? In that video, she did basically pull out a huge bag of the white snow and said that this was ruining her marriage. And there were parodies of that going around on social media swiftly afterwards. So it was all about, social media took it and started running with it, being all about her taking the substances and her taking a bump and basically just doing stuff, and basically her being on these rugs, right? That's basically what a lot of social media ran with, instead of the fact that this man has been operating in such a bad way that the CPS took his child away. Instead of, because in this video, she also talks about how they came before and she lied multiple times for her husband. She didn't want to, but she felt that she needed to lie for him. When she wanted to leave the relationship, people told her that she needed to stay in it because, you know, for richer and poorer, basically all of that stuff. So she went back to him. And those people, I'd be interested to know who those people were. They were either his people, right? Because every toxic person has his crew of enablers, hooverers, and all those people. Every toxic person has their crew. So those were those people, if any, or it might have been just him telling her that and guilt tripping her and making her feel some kind of way until she came back. But I don't think anyone in their right mind would have been telling her to go back to that situation, knowing the details of that situation. So, yeah, she comes out to do that, to talk about that. Now, the other half of the internet started focusing on what his ex was saying and the triangulation that was created between his ex-wife and his current wife. Conveniently skipping the part at which it was triangulation, of course, right? Because those two were at war because of what Dwight created, right? Because Dwight lied to Amy, no doubt, about the way and why Royce was talking about him in the way that she was. She hadn't known Dwight for that long before she married him. It was a whirlwind situation, typical of these toxic dynamics, right? It's a fast-paced situation. You get married, and then you're in it before you know it, and then they switch up on you, basically. So in the time, I'm just going to tell you what I think happened. In the time that he was love bombing, there was Royce and everybody were warning her about this guy. But of course, she was saying to herself and everyone else, you don't even know this guy. You don't understand. He's been giving her big ones about how he's changed, probably, you know, because he's got the toxic has to admit to something along the lines. If everybody is telling him he is this dirty, rotten scoundrel, he's got to make some sort of play that says that he has changed. So he's got to make it look like, okay, that was me at one point, but I've changed and these people just won't let me be. That's the narrative he's going to be spinning. That's the only narrative that's going to keep her on the hook, right? So a lot of people are like, she's stupid, she should have known better. No, because we are also told that people can change over time. So she's got, as far as she's concerned, the updated version of him. So she's going to give him a chance. And yes, what he did in the past was in the past, right? This is what she did. Was it a wise thing to do? Absolutely not. You don't give men chances after that amount of destruction. You're not doing that, right? Of course, I'm sure he denied. And the thing is, you can tell his pattern of behavior by the way in which he responds to her. Right? The way in which he responds to her is very telling. Okay, so you can tell by that basically you can see how he played her based on the way he tries to play her coming out about what has happened, right? But we're going to talk about that in a minute. So backstory, Royce and her were triangulated, not uncommon. And then she tries to divorce him after only 6 months of being married. And that's when she was hoovered back in by whoever, whatever. But here's the interesting thing about that. She then does videos giving relationship advice. Because in her mind, she has reached a new understanding of things. And she has. She's reached the understanding that, how can I say this? She's reached the understanding of full-blown codependency, right? But in her mind, because it's a new thing, she thinks it's a revelation. She thinks it's something that she needs to tell the world about so that they can understand and have better relationships too. Listen to what she says. This, and bear in mind, everything she says is straight out of the Codependent, How to Be the Best Target in the World handbook. Have a listen.
And I almost divorced him. I met the love of my life and I almost divorced him in 6 months, being real stupid and silly. Actually, we both filed for divorce. Let's talk about the struggles of being a new young wife. First thing I can tell you as a new wife, I know this is going to be a hard practice, but shut your mouth. Shut up. Now, I know some of y'all going to say, oh, you got to shut up because you married. What is he silencing you? No, sis, I'm not saying shut up. I'm saying pick your battles and sometimes pick them quietly. Understand, when you became one with your husband, that means you became one. Y'all
So shut up, basically, but let's carry on.
are one. You have to literally die to your old self. You don't want to do that yet. What does die to my old self mean? Because I'm very much still alive. Simply means adjustments. You got to make a lot of adjustments. Again,
She did make a very good point. You do have to die to your own self, which is the problem. If you're in a marriage with someone, you shouldn't have to die to yourself to maintain that marriage. If that person is healthy and is in love with you, that you should be allowed to remain in that relationship, regardless of what that version of you is, right? So dying to yourself, meaning killing parts of yourself to be in that relationship in the way that she's talking about it. Yeah, no. That is your red flag that you're with the wrong person. Yeah, you might be spicy, but he likes you spicy. That's why he married you, right? Yeah, you're opinionated, but he likes you opinionated. That's why he married you. Do you get where I'm going with this? But she's saying the opposite. Like, you're spicy, you're opinionated. You got to get rid of all of that. Yeah, you got to get rid of all of that if you're dealing with a toxic, narcissistic, or abusive type. You definitely have to get rid of all of that. And then when you get rid of it, they will use you and abuse you and then go off and disregard you as though you're worth nothing. So you win nothing at the end of giving up all of that. Giving up yourself leads to nowhere and nothing but heartache and trauma. So anyone that requires you to give up yourself is a red flag. Straight there. Just stop. Don't pass go. Do not collect $200. Just stop. Let's keep going, though. Let's see what she says.
on your one now. Know your spicy attitude isn't passion. It's a nasty attitude. That has to die for your husband. Confrontational spirits hidden by passion. You're not passionate, sis. You just got an attitude problem. Lose it. Quick gem. Successful top tier men, they just want peace. They don't want anything else. You can't do anything else for them besides bring them peace. Mistake I made, me and my husband going through issues, telling my friends about it. Don't do it. Lying to yourself is hard, okay? You spent your whole life talking, probably talking too much, getting the last word, being...
Okay, the argument about not telling your friends about your issues. My question is, why did you feel the need to have to tell your friends about the issue? Right, that's not to say that you shouldn't. I'm not agreeing with her here. But what I'm saying is, why... I think she's focusing on the wrong thing, because if you are able to resolve your situations within that relationship because it's healthy, you're not going to need or feel the need to go and get your validation outside of the relationship, right? In a drastic way. You might say, oh, you know, me and my hubby had a misunderstanding or whatever, just a brief overview of the situation, but you're not going to go into details. When you start leaning on your friends and going to your friends and telling your friends about the details of your problems, that's an indication that you're not able to do it within the relationship for some reason, right? For some reason, that is not happening, which shows that there's poor communication or no communication or resisted communication or lack of accountability or gaslighting or all the other things that go on in toxic dynamics. So when you are going outside of the relationship and telling your friends the ins and outs of all your problems and all your issues, it's a good thing to ask yourself why you're doing that, rather than say, oh, given a blanket statement, you should never go to your friends about things in your relationship. Okay, but why are you doing it? Is it because the relationship's unsafe? Right? Because these are the type of things toxics will say to you in order to keep you silent. We're going to keep it between us. Yeah, but are we able to keep it between us? Or are you going to gaslight and shift the buck and blame shift and triangulate when I'm trying to have a straightforward conversation with you? Which one is it? What's happening, right? If we're able to have a conversation, then yeah, sure, let's sit down and have a conversation. But if we're not able to do that, what other avenues are there? Let's keep going.
overly opinionated, being emotionally unstable. Some people settle for that, but this person married you, they're not going for it. Passive aggressive attitude. Most black men.
All right. So she's saying, oh, if you're these kind of ways, someone of high value isn't going to go for that, right? But he married you. Why did he marry you? How did we get up the aisle if he wasn't going for that? And I feel like we too often settle for that old, he likes this about me and he likes that about me, but he doesn't like this, and I got to get rid of this, and I got to do, no. You don't marry that guy. You don't marry that guy. No. You can't pick and choose. This isn't a pick and mix, right? That they got to take you as is, or they don't take you at all. You don't pick yourself to pieces and start this isn't Burger King. You can't have it your way, right? Because the parts of you are the parts of you for a reason. Those parts of you make you functioning, makes you functional within this world, right? In some sort of way. Now, I'm not talking about the dysfunctional bits, but that's something that you need to discover and adapt and change at your own pace. Right? You can't just do, because he says he doesn't like it. Who's he? Who literally cares? Like, when it comes to things like that, not to say that you don't care about your partner and what he wants, but when it comes to you changing yourself, you absolutely shouldn't care about your partner and what he wants. It's either he likes you the way you are and accepts you the way you are, or he doesn't. That's it. Let's keep going.
And when you do that, it reminds them of somewhat what they grew up with their mom, their siblings. They married you. They don't want to feel with the trauma from childhood. And I'm about to say something that's probably going to hurt y'all feelings. Black successful men do marry black women. But my girls, let's be for real. Let's talk about it. I already know, sis, life was not easy for us. And along the way, we formed a little neck roll that we can't get rid of. Because life was hard doesn't give you the right to be rude, confrontational, nasty attitude, uncooperative, any of those things. You're married now, sis, so you're joining with one. It should be a peaceful harmony, right? Which means you have to die to yourself with all the ugly things that do not create peace. Let's talk about the maybe I rule. If there's conflict going on in your marriage, in your home, silently to yourself, not out loud to your husband, ask yourself, maybe I am understanding this wrong. Maybe I am processing this wrong. Maybe I am being overly emotional. Maybe I am not listening. If you silently ask yourself the maybe I's and then go in a corner and process them before you respond, you'll see that maybe I can do something to meet him more in the middle versus pushing the confrontation. I did not say you cannot have an opinion. I never said that. I said, stop. Process your emotions, okay? You married now. You basically just said, I love you for the rest of your life, my life, no matter what we go through. Me not really understanding.
Now, the maybe I thing is not necessarily bad advice, but what are you doing after that? Are you saying maybe I indefinitely? Because that's just going to keep you in the relationship and basically help you to be gaslit in that situation. You going around saying maybe I continually for the next 5 years is going to drive you insane, and you are going to be blaming yourself the entire time. Now, if you're saying maybe maybe I'm looking at it in the wrong way, and then you give a solution to that, I tell you what, I'm going to try and do this and see what happens. So you need to be assessing the situation as well. Maybe I got that wrong. So I'm going to go and I'm going to try this and see what happens and see what the feedback is. Right? No, that didn't work. That was tossed in my face and used against me. Red flag. Right? We need to be assessing these situations. That's not to say, like I said, her maybe I theory is not bad because it helps you to look at things from a different perspective. But it's a fine line between that and you just basically gaslighting yourself. Right? So we have to be very careful with that maybe I. Okay? Because they are going to fuel that. They're going to make you feel like you're wrong, like you're doing things wrong, so that you question yourself. So you need to be able to question yourself and assess the situation at the same time to figure out whether that is actually you or them. And if you want more information on how to do that, come join the Warrior Living community where I teach you exactly how to do that. Exactly how to do that. Let's keep going.
Understanding the real concept of marriage, I was thinking like, oh, Dwight, you're doing this. I don't like this. I'm going to flee. I'm going to run. Listen, y'all, you ain't ready for marriage if that's the way you think it.
Or maybe you got married too soon. Right? Or maybe he switched up on you like he did. So that was her giving advice after she tried to flee the relationship and then was hoovered back. She started giving advice to basically justify her situation. But then, as you can see, that didn't end well. So she applied all of that, but it didn't end well from what you, as you can see, it doesn't end well. She's in her car now, bringing out kilos of whatever that snow was, saying it's ruining her marriage, saying that he's basically been doing dodgy things. It's just crazy, right? And his response was even crazier. But I think I'm going to do the court of public opinion first. And that, no, I'm not, because I don't have the videos up. Okay, so his response was even crazy. Let's have a listen to what he did first. First, he approached this this TikToker and gave him the inside scoop. Listen to this.
From Dwight Howard, so we're back with an exclusive directly from Dwight Howard. He reached out to me to let me know that none of his kids were actually taken or are in the care of CPS. So the plot thickens. Now, I told him I would share this exclusive with y'all, and I'm waiting to see if there's any additional details that he would like for me to share with you all publicly, but make sure y'all go lock into the Group Chat is Live podcast because we're going to be talking about all of this on the next episode. But now we all need to know what's actually going on with the wife. Why did she come to the internet and publicly declare that the children were taken from them or removed from their care? Something is not making sense here, and it's looking like she might be the something that's not making sense. Now, I saw a lot of people saying and speculating that she's just the stepmother to many of the kids, though I believe they have a daughter together. But that makes things even more interesting because if she is just the stepmother, not to say that stepmothers are not important, then why wouldn't they be returned back to their mothers instead of being placed in care? And so now everything that she said and done is looking questionable. What y'all think?
I think you're being played, is what I think. That's what I thought from the very beginning. I got confirmation of that later, but that's what I thought from the very beginning. I was like, I think you're being played. He's come to you because you are a big TikToker. You've got a lot of influence, and he wants to spread. He wants to start a smear campaign. He wants to make out that she's the liar. He wants to deny, attack, reverse victim and offender, right? He's not the problem. She's the problem. He's not the rug person. She's the rug person, right? She's lying on me. She's doing that. That's basically what he wants to do, right? So that's why he's come to you. That's what I think, right? And the other thing he said was, since, what did he say about since, let's go back. He was talking about basically since.
To know what's actually going on with the wife. Why did she come to the internet and publicly declare that the children were taken from them or removed from their care? Something is not making sense here, and it's looking like she might be the something that's not making sense. Now, I saw a lot of people saying and speculating that she's just the stepmother to many of the kids, though I believe they have a daughter together. But that makes things even more interesting because if she is just the stepmother, not to say that stepmothers are not important, then why wouldn't they be returned back to their mothers?
Question, why were they not with the mother in the first place? Could it be that he said that the mother was unfit? Because why does he have custody of that child in the first place? It is not uncommon for narcissistic and abusive men to fight for the children and get them, especially when they got a bit of coin. And they do it as a revenge tactic. Jeezy tried to do it to Jeannie Mai. They do this. They take them to court and they file and they lie and they twist things and they talk about how the mother's unfit to get custody just to punish the partner for leaving or telling the truth or exposing or whatever they did. That's what they do. That was my first thought. Because I'm just like, okay, so the mother's unfit. Where is the mother? If she's been taken in by CPS, it's been determined that that mother was unfit. That's why they haven't gone to the mother, right? He says he has a background, and you know what? I'm not going to disrespect him. Let me just keep moving on, because I have followed him. No, I haven't. I've listened to a couple of his things and I've liked the things that he said in the past. So I'm not going to go into that. Right. Okay.
Instead of being placed in care. And so now everything that she said and done.
So basically, he's basically taken the story and then cast doubt on her story by talking about the fact that Dwight says his child is at home, which is a blatant lie. And now he's looking and also questioning why the child didn't go to the mother, because that somehow indicates that Amy's lying. Yeah. So this is going on. And then later,
and he claimed that she stole a bunch of his stuff.
This YouTuber, I keep calling him, sorry. This TikToker reveals a leaked tape whereby, or a leaked recording of Dwight reporting his wife. After she did the car expose, he then rings up and reports her to the police. Have a listen.
Audio of Dwight Howard calling the police on his wife, Amy Luciani, has just been leaked. And he claimed that she stole a bunch of his stuff. Now, just to be clear, this
Convenient, just been leaked. By whom? By him. Let's keep going.
This is not new audio. This audio is from 2 days before Dwight Howard filed for a divorce, and soon after Amy Luciani took to the internet to tell the world that Dwight Howard was allegedly on that stuff and his daughter was allegedly removed from the home by CPS.
So this video essentially is going out to let us know that he filed for the divorce and she is somehow at fault for some things that she did. This is why it's been leaked. Okay, so this has been circulated by his PR team to basically feed that narrative. She's the problem, she's done this, and she's so bad, he filed for a divorce, right?
But either way, I know the police is sick of them. I know the police is about tired of them calling, playing on their line.
I have theft. Someone stole my jewelry, my wedding ring, my phones, and they left the house.
They stole it from this address, or they're at this address?
They stole it, yes. They stole it from this address, yes, and they left. They was in a black, gray Camaro. It's a female in a gray Camaro.
Okay, when did this happen?
This happened about 11:40.
In my last video about them too, remember, Amy Luciani said to the 911 dispatcher that Dwight Howard had been locking her out of their home for quite some time. So I'm assuming that when she ran off with his stuff, it was because she was getting her lick back. She said, yeah, you want to play? I play harder. Now, in that same audio, the dispatcher asked if Dwight Howard was home, and he says no, because he had to do something with his child. He was not clear on what child that was and what he was doing, but we're assuming that this is in connection to the child that was allegedly taken by CPS.
So then it was revealed that actually, by Royce Reed, his ex-wife, that actually his child has been taken by CPS. So it was confirmed by her that she has been taken. So Dwight blatantly lied and blatantly gave false information and approached him with this false information in order to spread through the media. That's what we get from that, right? And here's what he has to say about it.
Let's clarify a few things because y'all just start making stuff up. Number one is that he didn't reach out to me because of any hidden agenda. There are celebrities that reach out to me all the time or in my comment section
Pause right there. What? I know this guy has more than 2 brain cells in his head. This guy approached you, told you a blatant lie to get, and basically made that an exclusive. And you are now, after finding that out, on your platform talking about how he didn't have an agenda. What is happening? What is happening? I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Because I know this guy's smart. So I'm just like, you are being purposely stupid at this point, because the dots are quite easy to connect. Told lie to you, you spread lie out. Clearly he had an agenda by approaching you with the lie, sir. Right? The fact that he is not acknowledging that can mean one of two things. Either he is pushing a narrative because he's getting paid or benefit in some way from pushing a narrative that sways in Dwight's favor, or his ego, like happens with a lot of people who have been manipulated and abused in a certain way, his ego can't take the fact that he was duped. So therefore he's denying it and saying that, oh, you know, lots of people approach me and stuff like that, so it's perfectly normal for him to, but totally dismissing the fact that he approached you with a complete lie. Guys, you tell me what you think, but it's ridiculous to me. It's like you are purposely being obtuse.
clarifying things, and I just make sure that I share all sides of the story. Now, the reason that he probably reached out to me is because Royce Reed posted 2 of my videos on her story, and one of those videos made it to Hollywood Unlocked, and I'm sure that he saw it from there and came directly to the source to clarify what was actually happening based on his opinion. Number 2 is that I never
Okay, so you just basically said what I said. Oh, he saw you. He saw that you got a lot of reach, and he wanted to plant his seeds of lies with you so you could spread that reach. Got it.
never said I believed anyone or him.
And to be fair, him saying he's saying both sides of the story is fine, but there's even when he is talking, because later on he kind of shifts the narrative a bit to be a little bit more central, even though he's still kind of like framing Amy as a problem. And also there's a way in which people will not defend the person, but minimize their behavior that equates to the same. Like I heard a lot of people on YouTube doing this as well, talking about, you know, he's got demons. He's an abuser of women and children. What are you talking about? Like he's got, these are minimizing statements that you're making. You know, everybody knows he's got demon. Like, no, that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about intangible demons. We're talking about his behavior being toxic, narcissistic, and abusive. We're talking about him essaying women and children. Well, allegedly essaying women and children. We have to say allegedly, although I absolutely believe everything that came out of Royce Reed's mouth, which we're going to hear about later. Right? So everybody's heard about this, yet they are minimizing his behavior and focusing on Amy, which, of course, if you know me at all, it's going to infuriate me. It's going to infuriate me, because how many people do you need to come forward to tell you that this man is evil at this point, right? But let's keep going.
At all. I'm just sharing all parts of the story because it's the right thing to do, and he shared that information with me, which leads me to my next point. I'm not sure.
My problem here is that you still haven't spoken about the fact that he completely lied to you. If you're going to tell both sides of the story, let's talk about both sides of the story. right? Now you're talking about, oh, allegedly was taken away, when you know, and it has been confirmed that that child was taken away. So you're saying that you're telling both sides of the story, but you're still not telling both sides of the story. You're acting dumb, as though what he gave you was reliable information, and you're continuing with that dumbness. And I know he's acting dumb because I've seen him be very on point. You can't be one or other. How can you be very on point in X, Y, and Z situation, but now that someone has blatantly lied to you, you somehow can't see it? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. It's not making sense. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Those are mine. And subscribe and hit that bell so you get a notification every time I upload a new video. Let's keep going.
Why y'all are spamming, telling me that y'all believe Royce, because I never said Royce was not telling the truth. In fact, she probably reposted both of my videos because I said that she's been saying that this was true for years. So now y'all can stop making.
Yes, he has been saying that, but he has been saying that in order to beat Amy down. This is my problem with it. It's still triangulation. Right, he's saying, do you know what I mean? Oh, she's been saying this for years, so Amy should have known. Amy should have. So basically, the target is still Amy. The blame is still on Amy, rather than what Dwight Howard has been doing. Right, the focus is still shifted. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I'm seeing something I don't want to see. But let's keep going.
Making assumptions that there's a hidden agenda about why he reached out to me or whatever it is. I'm sure it's because it made it to the blogs and he wanted to come directly to the source. Now watch out.
Guys, what do you think? I think this guy, I don't even know what to think, but he's just plain dumb at this point. There's no way he did not, he is unaware that this guy lied to him. There's no way at this point that he is unaware that this guy lied to him. And if he is unaware, I'm sorry, and since he is aware, it is his duty to report that to the audience too, seeing as he's being a neutral party, right? He's not doing that, which means he's not a neutral party. Let's keep going.
Howard's wife, Amy Luciani's 911 call was released to TMZ, and Dwight Howard announces that he's coming out with a documentary about his life.
Okay. So now this is funny. Let's keep going.
I never seen somebody take F them kids this far. Here's a clip from the 911 call that Amy Luciani made that day.
My husband.
You see, he's reporting the news, but he is still influencing his audience to think one way and not the other. And if you're going to do that, just say that you're doing that. Don't say that you're not doing that and then do that. Like, this channel supports women. It's going to find any which way to to defend women when they come out to say certain things, to support women when they come out to say certain things about abuse allegations or whatever, because I know the challenges that women face in this area. This is what this platform does. I'm not going to deny it. I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, I'm totally neutral. I don't sway either way. What? That is manipulation. Now I'm manipulating you. Do you see how that works? So let's keep going. Anyway,
This will be the third time. Whenever he gets
this is what she reported after his child was taken by CPS. This is before she came. I think this is before she got in her car and reported. No, I'm not sure, but his child was definitely taken away at this point. Let's listen.
It's this far. Here's a clip from the 911 call that Amy Luciani made that day.
my husband, this will be the third time. Whenever he gets upset, he locks me out of our estate. We live in a 35,000 square foot big home. It's Dwight Howard from the Lakers. Anytime he gets upset with me, I come home, the gate's locked. He just did it again. We had an argument. He lost custody of his daughter last night with CPS. He took it out on me, and he went all ballistic. I come home. I try to go back in the gate. He changed the gate code again.
Now, later on in the call, the 911 operator asked her if there were any substances involved in what she was calling about that day, and Amy Luciani said no. Now, just to be clear, locking...
And why is that important? Because you're trying to you're trying to set it and frame it as though she's a liar. She said no because she wasn't ready to tell the truth at that point. Okay? It's quite simple. It's not that complicated. It's very simple, in fact. Let's keep going.
Someone out of a home that they legally reside in is technically considered a form of DV. So, you know, that's probably why the police told him.
Technically considered a form of DV. I don't like the way that was put, as though it's not really, but technically, if you wanted to look at it, it is DV, psychological and emotional abuse. Taking someone's bare basic needs away from them, like shelter, for instance, is psychological and emotional abuse. Economical abuse is there are a lot of abuses going on in that situation. So ain't nothing technical about it. It is. Let's keep going.
That he had to stop locking her out of the home. I also want to point out that in the call, she says that his daughter was taken. And I think that's important out of respect for the daughter's actual mother, who again is alive and well. But as all this controversy is going on, Dwight Howard drops a teaser of his soon-to-come documentary, which I think is interesting to do at a time where your kid is going through something or is allegedly not with you. I don't know.
I just had this strong sense of faith. When I was 10 years old, I told my dad I was going to the NBA.
Honestly, this whole thing has gotten so messy, and I have so many questions for the both of them.
No, don't do that.
What was going on this whole time? How did we get here? You know what I'm saying? Questions that need answers.
No, I don't know what you're saying. Do not do that. That irks me the most. When it is found out that actually the person that you've been defending or the person that you've been supporting or the person that you were a mouthpiece for is actually the one in the wrong, now you're like, oh, they're both messy. It's all so confusing. No. This is just another tactic to basically support the person who is not credible. But you know they're not credible, so you can't come out and say that because you will look you'll look crazy. So that's when this kind of dodging and diving starts happening. I don't know what's happened to this guy, but he's not being authentic. He's not being genuine. No, absolutely not. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. But let's keep going. So the reason why I brought this up is not to drag this guy through the weeds and the bushes and whatever. The reason why I brought this up is to highlight how these toxics will use other people to start smear campaigns. That's my point. To feed false narratives. They go to the loudest voices and they feed false narratives. That's what he was trying to do, using this person, which is why I'm so annoyed that this person is still like, oh, I don't know. It's just the both of them. Stop it. The guy lied to you. It's a wrap. Right? Gave you false information. What's confusing you now? Right? So basically, this guy, in response to her doing that and exposing him, tried to start a smear campaign. Right? Then he goes and divorces her as punishment as well. Right? Removing themselves, abandoning you is another form of punishment. These are all red flags. And let's not forget, then he turns up at his, I think it was a basketball game or whatever sports event it was, after his child has been taken away, allegedly, but we know he's been taken away, right? It's just acting normal with his other son, like nothing has happened. These are all red flags. Like, how are you doing this? The fact that you file for a divorce, right? You're not like, oh my gosh, my wife is in her car. Like, there are so many, forget the rest. There's so many points at which, through her leaked audio and his leaked thing, we can see that there's no empathy going on in regards to her well-being and her at all. Right? That's a red flag in itself. Forget the rest. Forget all the other pieces we can see. That is a huge red flag in itself. If anybody, he's not like, why are you doing this? Like, what happened? Like, I'm confused. You're in your car. You need help. You need support. You don't turn around and go, do you know what? Divorce. That is a sign of a narcissistic, controlling, and generally abusive person. That's the type of thing that they will do because you're not playing ball. So now you've got to be discarded. Now you've got to be punished. Now you've got to be silenced. And the way in which they silence you most of the time is by calling you a liar, which is what he tried to do using this TikToker. Very concerning behavior. Very concerning behavior, Dwight. You might as well have just said you were guilty of everything that she said, as far as I'm concerned. But let's see what the court of public opinion have to say. And honestly, I'm losing faith in the general public at this point. I'm just like, seeing how they have ripped this woman to shreds, I'm losing faith, I gotta say. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. There's a lot of I told you so. There's a lot of you should have known. There's a lot of all of that going on here. Let's put these up. Guys, give this video a thumbs up as I upload these. And let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I go live every
This is exactly why if you want to be
here he is again. To discuss all things around
like me for this one, but this ain't
gender and abusive dynamics, using celebrity news. I want to talk about more other things, like some other people, should I say. I've been meaning to do a section on the Kardashians. I want to do something. I want to delve deep into those relationships because dysfunctional AF. Did you hear about Sandra Bullock? I don't know if you heard about that marriage. I've got so much to talk about, but unfortunately, the time isn't there. So I'm just going to try and kind of like chip away at it once a week.
I wasn't even
one deep dive each week. I'm not gonna unless it's a big story, I'm probably not gonna go with the current stuff because I just want to talk about other things, and I feel like working on current news distracts from some of the things I want to talk about. Anyway, let's see what the court of public opinion have to say about it.
Wow! So you just don't think any of us fell for the antics either, right? None of us fell for the narcissism.
Let me tell y'all something. When it comes down to a relationship, when there are other women or other men that have dealt with this person, why do y'all act oblivious to what this person is telling you? If they come online and say, yo, this person put me through X, Y, and Z, y'all want to X out everything that the person's trying to tell you. They're trying to warn you, and you want to chalk it up to, oh, they're just hating on them. They don't like the fact that I won, I done this, I done this. And the whole time, they've been telling you, hey, this person is going to do you like this, this, and this. And then even after it's exposed of what this person was and you see it for yourself, you still want to blame everybody else but the person that really did you wrong. Why are you blaming his exes for how he is? It's him. They said it, you see it, and you still choose to turn a blind eye.
I feel like what he's talking about is the section in the car where she was talking about it's not him, it's his trauma. She's basically defending him. This is the trauma bond in action. This is what it is. Like, you want to defend the person even though the person has been mistreating you and mistreating other people around you. You are hearing in real time how a trauma bonded person is speaking and responds and expresses themselves in relation to that person. Like, they'll talk about what they did and then they're going to defend the crap out of them for why they did it. And they're going to humanize them and they're going to make excuses for them. And they're going to do whatever they need to do to make that person seem human again, rather than the evil person that they are. That's part of the trauma bonding thing. That is why she's doing that. Like, you've got to understand that when you're in this kind of dynamic, we should say temporary insanity. We should just chuck it up to temporary insanity the whole time. So now you are picking apart the actions of someone that has gone into temporary insanity, because that's what it is when you're in the throes of this type of relationship. And because a lot of people are talking about her, I'll talk about that later. Let's keep going.
It's his fault, and it's your fault for enabling it. Y'all got to stop doing this, bruh. When you have a bad man and you deal with somebody who's bad or a bad woman, it's the woman. It's never the exes. It's never you. It's them. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section, dog.
Now, yeah, it would be great if we'd be able to take the warnings, but we're being love bombed, we're being manipulated at the same time. We're being told twisted half-truths about the other person that we're not able to have a conversation with. We're not able to get clarity on what the real situation is. We've built trust with that person beforehand. Before all of this came out, we have trust with that person, right? That's been built over time. So you're not thinking that they're telling half lies and half truths. You're thinking that they're bearing their soul to you. Right. And this person is just attacking because they're jealous and bitter or whatever narrative he spun for that person. Let's keep going. Or, those rumors about me being gay, they've been exaggerated. I had one experience, right? That minimizing the situation. Half-truths. They don't just lie. They tell half-truths and make it harder for you to distinguish between the truth and the lies. Let's keep going.
Man, you just need to go ahead and be with that man, but you don't got to bring his ex down while you doing it.
And here we go with the triangulation now. Instead of just being like, oh my gosh, Dwight did her dirty, Dwight did her the exact same way that he did his wife, you're picking them off against each other.
Because you don't know, and the tables will turn. And you should have known that he was on that stuff by this picture alone. Because anybody who walk around with their glasses foggy like that is clearly on that stuff.
And I can't go down for what he's doing. So they took our daughter. And I'm just sitting there like, do I speak up? Do I be quiet? What do I do? But I caught this man. I caught this man forcing our 12-year-old son to cover for him, his son, to cover for him. He had him lying. I recorded it.
Now, I never been the type to kick nobody when they down. But Royce has the right to. She has the right to. Because I will not forget how the internet was calling her a bitter baby mama and making her seem like she was crazy. And you and Dwight Howard was playing into it. When she was talking about everything she went through, y'all was making it seem like this lady was losing her marbles. And now you simply on the other side. And it's hard. I'm sorry that the kids were taken because I can't imagine.
Okay. And here's where I'm just like, okay, two things can be true. Yeah, she helped with that situation. Yes, that was messed up. Yes, she shouldn't have done that. Yes, she made it difficult for Royce at the time. Yes. But now she is being victimized. So you don't get to paint over her victimization by talking about somebody else's victimization. This is a way of silencing now. This is what's going on now. Now you're just ignoring her pain because she made mistakes before. And you're using the other person at which to do that. No, not acceptable behavior. No. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up and let's keep going.
But at the same time, this is why you should have just loved on that man if that's what you was going to do. But the warning signs were there. Y'all need to stop trying to convince people that the ex is crazy for their experience.
So wait a minute. This is why you should have just loved on him if that's what you were going to do. So you should have just kept quiet. So basically it's what she's saying. He's saying, now look at you. You look a mess. You did X, Y, and Z. And now you look like a fool. Basically is what he's saying. Right? And you should have just been, if you're going to be with him, just be with him and just be quiet. Or maybe I'm interpreting that wrong. Maybe he means, no, let me pull that back. maybe he means instead of being part of the smear campaign, you should have just, yeah, that's probably what he's talking about. Let me retract the other statement. Instead of you going and being part of the smear campaign, you should have just loved on him quietly. Cool, fair statement to make. However, that's not how toxics do. Toxics will make sure that you are part of the dragging and the triangulation of the other person. And they'll do it in a way that makes you feel or think that you are in some way supporting them and being a ride or die and you being a unit together. That's how they manipulate the situation. And if you're not part of it, then there are going to be problems for you, right? And obviously it's the beginning of the relationship, so it's going to be more covert type problems. It isn't going to be like locking you out and stuff like that. He's going to be disappointed and won't speak to you for maybe 2 to 3 weeks, right? He's going to give you the silent treatment. He's going to be heartbroken at the lack of support from you. He's going to guilt trip you. He's going to do all of those things that make you think, you know what? Maybe I need to stand up with him. Yeah, we're a team. That's what they do. That's how they get in there. That's how they get you fighting their battles. Okay? It's not as straightforward as her just wanting to be like, yeah, B, yeah, your dad. No. He's been working on her for a long time before she comes out and starts fighting the battle. He's been planting seeds, talking about how Royce said this about her anyway. And honestly, this triangulation goes deep.
With the man you decide to be with, just be with him.
Yeah, I think that's what he was talking about. Let's keep going.
Johnny whole situation should tell you one thing. If you have been warned about a man, listen. Like, listen to the warning. I'm going to take it a step further and say, if any woman, even if there is no proof or evidence, if women are coming up to you trying to warn you about a guy, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone.
I agree with her, but I think it's easier said than done. This is the problem with it. And why... It's easier said than done, but we got to do it anyway. And that's why I started the Living Warrior Academy, because it's about doing the things we know we need to do, even when we don't want to do it, because it saves us in the end. No, you don't want to leave him because of these rumors going around, but you must. Okay? You must force yourself to do that. Okay? You must detach from feelings. If there's any time that I will encourage you to detach from the feelings and the signals going through you, is at this time. Detach from your feelings and get on out of there anyway. You know, feel the fear and do it anyway. Feel the pain and do it anyway. This is one of those times. When you're in this situation, this is the only thing that's going to save you. Now, you can feel the pain and do it anyway at the beginning of the relationship, or you can feel the pain and do it anyway when you've lost everything, your friends, your family, maybe your home, your children, and then still have to do it. But then you're feeling more pain and doing it anyway. So which one would you prefer? I opt for option one. Okay? Option one, feel the pain and do it anyway right at the early stages. Okay? Let's keep going.
Not necessarily because he's involved and he's doing all this or he's guilty, but just the fact that he comes with a lot of fucking drama and baggage that you don't need. It might sound harsh, but let me tell you, a man is not going to talk to a chick where hella guys are hitting him up, warning him about her, with evidence or not. Like, we know how they work. So why should we put ourselves in danger to be with somebody that people are clearly warning us about? Yeah, no thanks. The proof is in the pudding, buddy. There are too many people knowing your name and knowing that I fuck with you. That to me is enough to cut you off. You're right off. Bye.
That is it. But the problem with that is he's a celebrity. So, you know, he gets more, you know, they just said that for the money. They get more excuses. They have more options at which to play around with people and play around with the truth and manipulate situations with a everyday person, which Amy is. I mean, I think she was on some reality TV show, but in comparison to Dwight Howard, yeah. Let's keep going.
Dwight Howard took F them kids to a whole nother level, or somebody is lying. Because being at a Lakers versus Knicks game after your kids just got taken is out of control. Insane.
Right. So here, twice, in the last video and this one, he actually admits that his kids were taken. So again, why are you not addressing the fact that he came to you with a lot? I can't. Let me let it go. I need to just let it go. But let's keep going.
Work.
So here he is at
out
the
of control.
Lakers game.
Insane work.
And instead of him focusing on how heartless you need to be to actually be doing this while running smear campaigns and divorcing your wife and basically getting your PR team to dump on this woman, how heartless and how calculated and how narcissistic and generally abusive you need to be in order to do this, he's treating it like it's some sort of joke. This is what I mean by minimizing. Like, this is the type of person that would you and then go celebrate with his friends. This is how unhinged this man is at this point, in my opinion. But he's like, oh, you know, this takes it to another level. There's no hee ha ha about the situation right here. Let's keep going.
And I'm trying to figure out why the crowd is going wild. Why is everybody cheering? Did he get his kids back? Did we miss a chapter? Because I don't understand why y'all are giving this man a round of applause.
I don't understand
He just got his kids taken, allegedly. Now I'm feeling like either he don't care about them kids or she really the one that's on that stuff. And she can't be around them kids, and she was trying to get to the internet before he did. But in her defense, he do look like he on something. He looked like he's on some stuff. But if not, somebody need to tell him that's not what we meant when we said F them kids. We wasn't talking about this. Like, this is too far.
Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section.
Royce has come back online and pretty much exposed Amy for being complicit.
Here's what other people are saying about it.
Wow, you're not wrong, because now Royce has come back online and pretty much exposed Amy for being complicit in everything that's been going on in the home with the children. And she knew it was happening, yet she did nothing, which she clearly told us in her video by saying that she lied to police and CPS multiple times. What is lying to police and CPS multiple times doing for those children? Apparently what's going on in their home is even worse than what we know, than what she's even disclosing. And I agree with you. The only reason why she's even saying anything is because she doesn't want to go down with him for being complicit with child abuse and neglect. She ain't shit. And she want to come up here crying with that key of, like, we care. Like, I don't know, ma'am. Like, I'm never just going to sit there and watch a man neglect and abuse his kids and just sat, and because it's benefiting me in whatever way.
I don't recommend that you say that you're never going to do anything unless you've actually been in that situation. Unless you've been in that situation, sweetheart, don't say never, because you don't know what you're talking about. Let's keep going.
Which is probably for her monetarily. Like, Dwight got money. That's why she with him. She with a DL man because
Reese talks about being SA'd by him because she felt like she had no other option. Allowing situations to happen because she felt she had no other option. I don't see how that doesn't translate to also allowing certain things to happen to kids that you don't want to happen, because there's nothing you can actually do about it anyway. Right? Now, can she do something about it? Of course she can. But in the world that she's living in, she can't do anything about it anyway. And even if she can't, here's the thing about it though. She can do something about it, but it would probably ruin her life, and also it probably wouldn't work out for her anyway, because no one would believe her, and she would be like Royce, tainted as this crazy person on social media. So that's a rock and a hard place, because it's not like, oh, you know, if I do something about it, you know, my reputation is going to be ruined, but at least the kids will be safe. No, it's if I do something about it, my reputation's going to be ruined. I'm going to be dragged through the mud, and the kids will probably still be at his house being mistreated. Now, with that reality in mind, reality, not thought, reality in mind, now what are you going to do? You know, not such an easy thing anymore, right? Maybe she's thinking, do you know what? Maybe it's better that I'm here because I can kind of like calm him down. And I don't know. These are the kind of things that you start to think in those types of situations, you know, like it's better that I'm not like out there. It's better that my reputation isn't ruined and I'm shunned out and then these kids are left alone with this person. It's better that I stay here and try to manage the situation. You guys don't have any idea what was going on in her mind at that time. And it was probably along those lines. Now, outside of that, you know, I don't think, because here's the thing, if it was about defending her reputation, then she would still stay quiet. Okay, you could argue that, okay, CPS were taking the kids, so it was going to come out anyway. Would it? Because she knows that his PR team is very, very powerful. They can spin any narrative they want to. She's watched them do it with Royce. So would it? She has watched him destroy people. So she knows what's going to happen to her if she goes out there and what the end result will be. So, Missy, please save your I would nevers for something else. I'm not justifying her behavior. I'm just trying to articulate the actual dynamic that she would have been in at that time. You know, you can kiss your career goodbye. You can kiss everything you know and love goodbye, and you're not going to get the outcome you want anyway. So good luck with that. Right? Do you know? Let's keep going.
He got money. He's paying for her lifestyle. So the only reason why and she said because she loved him. Well, if you really love that man, why aren't you getting him help? If you really love that man and his kids, why aren't you making sure his kids are protected? You don't love him. You love the money, honey, and you love the status and you love the clout.
How is she going to make sure that he's protected? The kids are protected if he doesn't want that? How is she going to make him get help if he doesn't want that? Is she Superwoman? What's going to happen here? How is a person that is also being abused and mistreated going to get the person who is mistreating them and abusing them to get help? I'm sorry, I'm laughing because it's a ridiculous, it's so ridiculous to me. You're going to get them to get help because if you have that much control, then you wouldn't be getting mistreated in the first place, right? Surely not. Let's keep going.
Oh, I'm not on Amy's side, and I don't even know why she came to the internet crying. Because like I said, the last time she did this, she told us to mind our motherfucking business and that we're all unwed, single, bitter, and we can't find a man, and that's why we're really mad. Not that fact that we're trying to warn her, protect her.
Yeah, because she had to recommit to her loyalty to her man and to show her man, the perpetrator, to show him that she's trustworthy again. There's a lot of proving that takes place in these kinds of dynamics. So yeah, that's what she had to do. Hey, I was going to abandon him, but we're tight now, so don't come here. They have to overcompensate and go the other way. This is ABC of dynamics like this. But you don't want to hear that because she wasn't the perfect victim for you. So yeah, and what he's been doing in the house is completely irrelevant because she wasn't a perfect victim. So let's talk about her not being a perfect victim for the internet, across the internet, so that what he has been doing isn't even looked at in any way. Let's do that. That makes sense. Let's keep going.
Because, you know, women trying to help women. And then she wanted to say the same thing about Royce. And now look at where you're at. Crying with Akia on the internet about that man who's DL anyways. Like, he's not even attracted to you, nor does he probably even like you. Like we were trying to tell you. But anyways, let me roll the quick clip about Royce and what she said.
Kids, it's about the kids. No, it's about you. You saving face for you. If it was about the kids, then your ass should have said something when Layla ain't have no damn jacket and had to walk to school in the snow. If it was about the kids, then your ass should have made sure David had a dentist appointment instead of trying to pull his teeth out with some damn pliers.
Oof.
If it was about the kids, you wouldn't be leaving them alone at home with no supervision while y'all overseas, and he over here about to burn the damn house down. Let's call a spade a spade. You said he drugged you, and you went back.
And that's the other thing. A lot of people are making jokes about her being on the snow, but she did say in the car, if you watch the whole thing, that he rugged her. So she spoke about that, and she was like, it was Marley, and she got sick. But makes me now go, well, if he's willing to do that, he's also willing to do other things, right? He's also willing to coerce her into taking other drugs, whatever, right? So I hope she's not on the stuff, but if she is, it would not surprise me. It would not surprise me. This is what a lot of narcissistic and abusive people do. You saw it with Puffy Combs. He did it with Cassie. The first thing he did was get her addicted to some things so that he could better control her. So it wasn't about him and her in the relationship. We now have another third element of which he can control her with. So if she is on this stuff, that would be why, as far as I'm concerned. Let's keep going.
Let's talk about how you were at the club and he pulled out a whole tray of weed. And the kids were there at the club. And they underage.
What was she supposed to do?
And we're going to call it out. We're going to call it out. Don't sit here and like all of a sudden be like, I can't believe that he's doing this. And now that he's bringing me into it, I got to say something. What? You sound dumb as fuck. It's always been about the kids. Always. That shit really, really bothered me when I heard that. Yes, I got people who screen recorded and sent it to me. Thank you, y'all. But that pissed me off. Because please do not sit here and act like you are doing this for them. Because you are not. This has been going on.
And Joyce, is sounding like you've lost your way a little bit in this too. Because if it was about the kids, you would be joining forces with her at this point in time in order to protect those kids, rather than arguing with her about it. Now, do I understand why you're doing that? Absolutely. Because you were dragged through the mud. I absolutely understand why you're in this place now, but I need us to acknowledge that because you've been in this toxic, dysfunctional situation, you are now acting toxic and dysfunctional in this situation. Because now you're like, oh, you know, I gotta call you out. You should have been doing, and you should have been doing, and you should have been doing. She should have been doing the things that you couldn't do when you were there. How does that make sense? Like now you're giving her things to do and responsibilities that you know cannot be done in that dynamic because you have experienced it yourself. So this is where I'm like, girl, yeah, less is more. Because certain things happened in your relationship with your children that you also had no control over. Right? There are certain things that she had to allow to happen that she did not want to happen because there was nothing she could do about it. Now, did she fight anyway? Absolutely. Because that's her baby. That's her child. But bear in mind that none of these children are her children. Let's keep going. And even in that, even with her own children, she didn't have the power. She had to go along with certain things that she did not want to go along with. She had to allow her child to be exposed to things that she did not want him to be exposed to. I'm talking about SA things. Allegedly, right? That's how little control she had. So now getting on the net and talking about what she should have done, what Amy should have done, is crazy to me. Let's keep going. Now, I understand the animosity. I understand that, but I just want to talk about the toxic dynamic that's happening and snowballing as a result of him, the centerpiece in this.
Since day one, you are not the first one who has fallen for the okie doke. Just like he told you that video of him talking about what happens in his bed was AI. That ain't AI. But your dumb ass wanted to sit there and believe it. You know that wasn't AI. You sit here and you believe what you want to believe because it served you.
Yeah. That's cognitive dissonance. That's what it does. You feel uncomfortable, and then you have to choose a side, and you choose a side that serves you so you can continue with the relationship. Yeah, that's why I say that we should call this temporary insanity. Well, temporary, we're gonna be a bit loose on the temporary because we can be in that state for years. Let's keep going.
It was never about the kids. You are saving face. You don't want to go down with him. So now you're speaking out and saying, I ain't got.
Two things can be true. She doesn't want to go down with him, and it's about the kids. Two things can be true. And I believe those two things are true. I don't believe that she never cared about those kids completely. I believe that she didn't have the power to, and she tried to fawn and adapt to the situation as best she could, as you do as part of learned helplessness when you're in these types of dynamics. It's part of learned helplessness. Instead of figuring out how to get away from the situation and fight the situation, you figure out how you can maintain yourself and stay comfortable within the situation. That's what she did. It's ABC of psychology. That's what she did. But let's keep going.
Nothing to do with this. Yes, you do. Because you're sitting here, oh, these are my stepkids. I'm his wife. Then why are you going overseas and leaving these children by themselves? In a big-ass house. Choice? And no, let's not sit here and say, oh, there was someone always there. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I don't have any sympathy. I don't have any empathy. And the reason I say that is because we tried to tell you.
Period. And I'm on Royce's side with this one. I know people have their own feelings about Royce, but she's not wrong in what she said. The only reason why Amy's even speaking out right now is because the house of cards is crumbling for them and she don't want to go down with it. It was never about them kids. You don't really care about them kids. You were over there protecting your husband over them kids. Now you want to say it's about the kids because you could possibly get in trouble for the neglect and the abuse that was going on in your home that you allowed. Now you care? Girl, bye. Get off our screens with this shit. Everybody tried to warn you, and you literally called everybody bitter, single, unwed, and to mind their business. So I'm gonna mind my motherfucking business. I'm so confused on what her coming on the internet crying boo-hoo with the Kia is gonna do. Like, you need to get your husband on your own. That's your husband. That's not our husband. Like, we've been known about him. We know he's DL and he ain't shit. So what are we gonna do about it? Girl, bye. Like, you gotta figure that out on your own. But let me know what you think in the comments.
Not checkers.
I think you've grossly underestimated the situation and don't have a concept of these kind of dynamics to talk about it in any kind of meaningful way. That's what I think. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Let's keep going.
Dwight Howard is playing chess, not checkers. All that drama that was going on yesterday on the internet, going viral, about him being a drug addict, his wife pulling out a whole thing of blow, talking about she lost her marriage to this. He was at the Los Angeles Lakers New York Knicks basketball game. The Jumbotron was on him. He stood up and he waved. His son was sitting next to him. He looked like he was having a good time, and Dwight Howard looked like he was having a good time, and he did not look like an addict to me. Now, I'm not saying what an addict should look like, but what I'm saying is his PR team did a magnificent job by setting that up, because now she looks like the addict on Instagram Live, pulling out a whole thing of blow. And to be honest with you, I do not feel sorry for this lady. She running to the internet looking for pity. It's enough information about Dwight Howard's personal life all over the internet. You can believe what you want to believe, but I feel like enough of us have seen stuff about Dwight Howard's personal life and learned some things by accident, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. So she knew the situation that she could have been gotten herself. So she knew the situation that she was getting herself into. Not to mention that his first baby mom has been trying to tarnish his legacy forever.
Okay, so seeing as we all know, and we've known so many things about him, and we all know, why are people cheering at him for him in stadiums worldwide? Seeing as we all know, and like you know, abuse is not acceptable, right? Saying is not acceptable. It's like it's absolute, as an absolute no. It's a disgrace. So why are we cheering for him in stadiums? Is he even playing at all now? Is he even an active player, or is he in retirement? I don't even know. I don't even think he plays anymore. So you don't even have to correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but I don't even think he plays anymore. So you don't even have to be cheering for him that hard. Like, you don't even have to cancel him. You can just ignore him, but we're not doing that. Why? Interesting.
Do I believe it? Some of it I do, some of it I don't. But I also believe that she's bitter. But this lady right here looking for pity on the internet, you're not getting it from me. And one thing that I'm not gonna let happen is all this drama with Dwight Howard's personal life tarnish his basketball legacy, because he was dominant when he was in his prime on the basketball floor. It is easy to forget the player that Dwight Howard was with all this drama going on. He got disrespected by not making the NBA All-75 team. He's a top 75 player all time in my opinion. He should have been on that team over some players who made that list. And moving forward, I feel like his personal life, if this continues to happen, is going to start to diminish what he did on the basketball floor, and I don't want that to happen. And I don't feel sorry for this lady. She knew exactly what she was getting herself into, and now she got what she was looking for.
This is why I worry about the general public at large, because that's a good example of someone very slow. Because what are we saying? What are we saying? Let's keep going.
Listen, man, this lady, man, she sat there and exposed her own husband while having a bag of, you know what, showing the substance of the bag, and then going like this. I almost thought she was doing something, but I guess she was wiping her face. Now people are actually mimicking her and making fun of her. And I'm going to just say this for the most part. I think that she deserves what she's getting, because what she did on the internet was wrong. Your husband got a problem messing around with stuff he shouldn't be messing around with. Why bring it to social media? The people on social media can't do nothing for you. They can't do nothing for you. To expose your husband like this, why not get that man some help? Coming on here crying with tears hanging out your eyes and stuff, man. Trying to get validation from the people who don't know you nor care about you. I don't understand. And now the husband, Dwight Howard, done filed for divorce from her ass. And I'm kind of glad that he did. I'm really glad that he filed for divorce, because why the hell would you bring that to social media? That type of stuff is family issues, man. You deal with family issues.
How you say you're toxic without saying you're toxic? By saying stuff like this. This is family issues. Wow. Okay. She should have got him help. Again, where is the power to get him this help coming from? When you're getting beat down every day. Sorry, trigger warning for my language there. But where is the I just want us to really, really think about what we're saying. It's like saying to a person who's got 2 broken legs, well, you should have got up and walked. You walked out of here. What are you doing? Like, it's that bad. It's that ridiculous to me. But let's keep going.
Off the internet,
especially if she does have a rug habit, which I do think that she does, because she's handling that stuff a bit too she's a bit too familiar, like taking it out of the bag and holding it. I would never touch it, much less have it in the palm of my hand and then wipe it off and then I'm wiping my nose. I'd never touch it. So I do believe that she's taken the stuff. Because it's a way of disassociating. It's not uncommon for targets of abuse to take up substances and use substances as a way of escaping from their situation, even temporarily. So even if he did coerce her, it wouldn't be a hard push after that, because she's in a disgusting situation, right? But let's keep going.
Husband some help. If you really care for that man, you getting some help. But no, you had to run straight to the internet with the bag of stuff,
because that's what people do, right? Someone who's addicted, they just get them help, and then they, happy days. They get the help that they need, and that's it. Even if they don't want it, a fairy magically floats down and gives them help. You call for help comes, floats down, and just takes away their struggle. That's how it works, right? Okay.
In your hand, you could get arrested.
Families and friends, mothers are not suffering all across the world at the hands of their daughter or whatever being addicted to certain substances, right? That's not happening at all. Because if you love them, you just get them help. Just get them help.
That you can get arrested for that, right? You could literally still get arrested for that. The only thing that they have to prove is that the substance that you were holding was real. And now you got people mimicking you, talking about your husband filed
They're
for divorce.
parodies.
If I was that man, I would have filed for divorce too, because you cannot be trusted. And I don't care what nobody says.
So you're not going to look at him being a trustworthy person at all, right? You're not going to look at that. She can't be trusted for coming on the internet, but him doing everything behind the scenes, throwing out of her house whenever he's upset, and doing all the things that he's doing, that's fine. And we're going to hear more from Royce about what he's been doing. Okay? We're going to hear more, but let's keep going.
That man has an addiction. Get that man some help. How the hell do you think coming to social media is going to help that man? If anything, it's going to make him fall deeper into his addiction with the stress, with all the negative media attention that it's getting. You're not helping the situation. You're making the situation worse. So you know what? He did right by filing for divorce, because you are not to be trusted. Marriage vow says through thick and through thin. Not when one person falls weak and then you run to the internet crying to a...
Thick and thin is not, oh, my husband is the whole problem, mistreating me. No, that's not thick and thin. This is so thin, I gotta get out of here. That's ridiculous. There's no space for me, and there's no place for me in this relationship. Thin. That's how thin it is. Like, that is ridiculous. She needs to leave. There are struggles in relationships. The struggles are supposed to come from outside the relationship, if that makes any sense. Like, and even when you have something that's a personal struggle within your relationship, it's not supposed to be a consistent and pervasive thing directed at you and mistreating you. That's not a thick or thin scenario. That's abuse. That's what we're talking about. So talking about marriage vows, he's now attempting to spiritually manipulate this woman, which it sounds like. I hear that Dwight's family are from a spiritual, from a Christian background. So that is probably why his enablers, because Christians, right? They're great targets for being enablers. When it comes to this sort of thing, they're going to be like, through thick and thin, you got to work together, and justifying this kind of abusive behavior. So it makes sense why a lot of people were telling her the same thing that this guy's telling her right now when she tried to leave after 6 months, because she became very aware of the situation.
A bunch of strangers. That's what's wrong with people right now. There ain't never privacy anymore. Y'all feel like exposing somebody is the new thing now. Nobody cares about that. You looking crazy on here. Your husband just looks like he needs help. That's it. So again, I'm going to say this. Him filing divorce, he did the right thing, because you are not to be trusted. That's what not marriage vows are. And I don't care what nobody say. I stand on what I say. I'm out.
Okay. I'm going to play one more, and we're going to move on to Royce, because...
wife for Sapi, whatever the lady...
This is... I've got too many of these, so I'm going to just keep...
Howard's wife or ex-wife or Sapi, whatever the lady is, she got on live, bro. She had a bag of, like, drugs, and she was blaming the drugs and all this craziness. And then, like, I guess he has a baby mama or a side girl or whatever. And all these stories are coming out about how he used to party, how he used to have certain people in the house, like freaky time stuff, how he used to have crazy parties with crazy people while his wife and kids were in the house. And now you want to get on TikTok and get some sympathy points? Listen, man, I see straight through the BS with most people. There's no way you're on live screaming about the BS. You lived through this. That's why a lot of times when people get on here with like they want sympathy votes, you get none from me, because I understand the intricacies of life, bro. And that's what gets me. When y'all say, "No, that man tricked me. He was for the first 3 years he was perfect, and then that last year he got crazy." All right. All right. I know a liar when I see one. He just changed. Nah, bro. There was probably a point where you was doing drugs with him. Now you want to settle down because it's getting too crazy and he not calming down. Now you want us all to believe that he's a crazy person. That's just not how anything goes in life. Like, I don't doubt that she's telling the truth. All I'm saying is, why are we just now hearing about it? We been knew he like boy butt. We been knew that. We been knew that. Hella scandals and all that. I'm gonna be real, I didn't even know cuz was married. I had no clue Dwight Howard was married at all. I knew more about the weird stuff than I did about his marriage. So you think his wife? You think his wife didn't know he was crazy and all that was going on if John Cannon did? Bro, watch out.
Okay, we're going to leave that there. That's what the public have been saying basically over and over and over again. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section and come join our Warrior Living private community. You get daily affirmations, practical and therapeutic trauma-informed challenges, tips to help you avoid or remain empowered whilst navigating toxic dynamics, regular live lessons, teaching you about the nuances and how to deal with these dynamics in a practical and effective and empowering way. And then we have social activities and so much more happening within the community. Come join us today for $5.99 per month. You can cancel at any time. Link is in the description box. Now let's just keep going. Okay, so here's what Royce has to say about the situation. Royce has to say a lot about the situation, by the way. Thank you for coming and exposing everything and continuing to expose things. There are a few things she said that made me kind of side-eye her logic a little bit, but we're going to get into that when she actually says it. Just because I feel like, let's go back. Royce, here we go. She says a lot of things. She has been to hell and back, this woman.
The smoke when it
hell and back. To hell and back. I'll say it again. To hell and back.
It's like, oh, okay, he's fine.
All right, let's upload these. Guys, a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell so you get a notification every time I go live. And yeah, let's keep going. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Where's my crew? Where are you? You're all very, very quiet.
Hard.
All right, let's go. All right.
That smoke is
Okay, here we are with my gosh, my favorite person, which I'm being sarcastic. Obviously, it's not my favorite person. This guy's toxic AF, but we move. Let's keep going.
All the smoke when it comes to my child.
but that smoke
I will take all the smoke when it comes to my child.
but that smoke is not healthy. It's because
You're right. So then leave us the fuck alone. I've said that from day one. All I wanted him to do was leave me alone. He wouldn't leave me alone. He kept me in court, taking everything from me as I tried to better myself, as I tried to pull myself out of this stuff.
All of the stuff she's saying right now is post-separation abuse, basically. Post-separation abuse. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Let's keep going.
After I've been forced to stay in Florida by that agreement, I built a company, a successful company. I wrote a book. Yes, I did a show. But guess where all that money went? Into litigation.
Financial abuse. Using the court system to financially abuse her, which is easily done when you've got somebody of higher ranking who has more money than you do and is narcissistic and abusive.
Because he hated seeing me come up. So when you ask, why am I doing this? Because nah, I have tried so fucking hard to live. And you keep doing this shit behind closed doors. He's sitting there beating us up and then smiling. I don't know why they're doing this. You know, I'm not entertaining it. After this, still committed. Get the fuck.
Guys, can anybody relate to this? Who has ever been there? So we've got so many bits of post-separation stuff that she spoke about in this interview, financial stuff. Then we've got the reactive stuff because now they're going to react to that, but then he's going to be acting like he's innocent. Let's keep going.
Divorce. I'm sure she's like, Amy thinks like, oh, okay, he's filing for divorce. I'm sure she's like, because she didn't plan on leaving. Let's just put that out there.
Probably not.
This happened early last week. Y'all just hearing about it. Yeah. But
How you know?
Because I'm friends with the mom of the daughter. That's my girl. We do TikToks together. But
so the mom of the daughter that was removed, these two are friends. Now listen to why and how this whole situation.
You wouldn't know it. Yeah. We have been, like, when I tell you I have held this woman through tears because she's fighting for her daughter. And this man is out here just lying on her. But it's not even just money, it's his connections.
What did I say? Right at the beginning, what did I say? As soon as that guy did the video and he was talking about why she didn't go to the other parent, I knew it was some sort of thing whereby he would be using the court system to hurt that woman. I knew it straight out the gate. And here she is, Royce, confirming exactly that. Confirming exactly that. And she goes into more detail. I'm going to take it back and just let it play.
And this man is out here just lying on her. But it's not even just money, it's his connections. His uncle was a DA in Georgia. There's police body cam footage that you'll never see because they pay people off. That's why she's talking about, oh, police have been at my house this many times. Like, yeah. And they show everybody else's body cam. They want to put my mugshot over everything. What we doing with him? Just letting him go because of who he is. And not even just who he is, it's who he knows. Money can absolutely buy you a verdict, but your connections can also hide your truth.
How much money was garnished through the lifetime that you've been dealing with this situation, including the money that was taken from your mother's account that you shared with her?
In total, it was close to $10,000. And back then, when I had just started really doing the show, like, I didn't have money like that. Basketball Wives wasn't paying like that. It was a pilot.
And you're still paying legal fees to defend these things.
Yes. So people want to laugh when I did that GoFundMe. But I'm like, y'all don't understand. He would rather pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to attorneys than to take care of his children.
This all happened last week. Why do you think?
Yeah, because mistreating his children is a way of mistreating you. That is why you got to be very careful who you have your children with. Because it's not just about you being stuck with them or stuff like that. This post-separation stuff, they will, because a lot of them, I mean, if you're talking about a narcissist or generally abusive type, they don't care about their kids. Those kids are pawns, right? And in that, they get to you through that porn. So now he's just controlling her. He maintains control of her by mistreating the kids, that child that they share together. That's how it works. That's another reason why you got to be very careful who you have your kids with. And if they are shown red flags of being toxic, narcissistic, and abusive, please do not have kids with that person. Do not do it. Let's keep going.
Amy decided over the weekend to do this?
Because he turned on her. She said it. She literally said it in her video. When I found out that he was having our 12-year-old son lie on me, that's when I knew. Because he said he's willing to take down everybody else to save himself, and I just can't let him do. That's literally what she said.
That is
so
what she said.
It's not about the kids. It's about you.
Reality with the King is streaming on all platforms.
Okay, let's keep going. What else? You guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Let's keep going.
Almost immediately, I regretted it. I was forced to do things that I...
This is her talking about her relationship when she was with him.
Did not necessarily agree with. But because I wasn't that experienced, I thought it was normal. And I never complained about it. I just felt like this was me experiencing things that maybe he has experienced and I have not. That's when things started turning verbally and physically and also mentally abusive. I was told that I was stupid. I was told that nobody would ever want me. I was told that everybody here loved him and hated me. And how does it feel to have my hometown turn on me? I better not ever leave him. If I left him ever, he would make my life a living hell. And he did. There were days that I would be at his home and I was threatened with a knife, and then it was laughed off. But when the knife was in my face, it was, I could kill you right now and get away with it because I could claim self-defense and they would believe me and not you, because who are you? That happened. He came to my house one day to pick up our child, and because I did not have a bag packed or orange Trident gum or soda in my refrigerator, he followed me into our child's closet and he grabbed me and he pushed me to the floor and said, in the future, I better have his bag waiting. I then left. I go out into the family room and I'm telling his best friend, the one that's an inch away from being a little person, and I'm like, get your friend, he's going crazy, what's wrong with him? Well, he comes in there and he, in front of his best friend as well as my goddaughter, my other goddaughter, he grabs my hair and he forces me to the floor. And he's like, who the are you talking to? Our child, who is not even 2 yet, is thinking he's playing. So he's grabbing at his leg with his baby voice and he throws me into the entertainment center. When he threw me into the entertainment center, it broke the door. So I was flung into the one on the right, and our son, who was grabbing him and like thinking he was playing, he then flung him into the other door. I do not think that was intentional. I don't think he knew his own strength, but that's what he did. And it did break that door as well. Our son started crying. His best friend was like, man, what you doing? Like, you know, that's a female. And he's just not caring. That's when I realized, like, oh my God, I'm in a relationship that I swore I would never be in. Now, moving on, the day that I really wanted to leave was a day where I did not want to have relations with him. And he then forced me to give him. I know you're wondering, how does someone force you into doing that? When you are dealing with someone that is that big and you are that small and you're terrified of them and they have gotten away with so much and doing so many things, and you're still the one made out to be crazy and bitter, you're probably willing to do just about anything just to get through it.
So you can understand how she could possibly be in that situation and not do the right thing then, because you've literally articulated it. You're 100% correct. And I relate and I have compassion for both of you in that situation, but I wanted to point that out.
And that's where I was. After that, another nanny came into the picture. I knew this nanny was not okay. When she would drop our child off, he would sit in the doorway and he was hitting himself. Or he would be in the bathtub and he would be playing with himself in a really weird way that just didn't seem right. Of course, he was little, so he couldn't really vocalize things. But yeah, I could tell something wasn't right. There was the day where I invited her inside and I sat her down and I said, I just need to talk to you. And I said, have you ever put your hands on my son? And she swore up and down no. And I said, well, why is he sitting in a doorway hitting himself or playing with himself in a bathtub? And she was like, oh my God, I don't know. Why would you even ask me something like that? I said, because I want to know. She swore up and down that she had never put her hands on my son in an inappropriate way or even as a disciplinarian. I said, okay. And I said, but if I find out that you have ever put your hands on my son, we're going to have a problem. She asked me if that was a threat. I said, no, it's not a threat. It's a promise. She then went back and told them that I threatened her. And I told them the same thing, that I didn't threaten her, that I made a promise. And that's when things started getting hidden from me about what was going on at that house with my child. But I found out anyway.
Okay. First thing, in regards to her child and the nanny, as soon as I heard this, I'm like, okay, what's up with that? Because why, when you go to the father about this, does he tell you less about what's going on in that house? That's my first thought. Something's up with that. And then it gets worse. Then it gets worse. Let's keep going.
We forget about what just happened. And just because, oh, it came out that the case was dropped because he admitted it was consensual, what the fuck do you think my child has been seeing?
She's talking about an allegation. I didn't have time to show it because that came through as one of the court of public opinion skits. A guy accused him of essaying him. So this is what she's talking about in regards to, even though basically he came out to say that it was consensual in the end, probably paid off. Do you know what I mean? She's now saying, but it's still, because her son was in the house when this allegedly happened, right? So she's going off. Let's hear.
Because he admitted it was consensual. What the fuck do you think my child has been seeing? And being told that it was okay. We're not going to sit here and now make it seem like I'm a horrible mom and like I didn't raise him right when we grew up talking about the No-No Square song. Like, let's not do that. A mistake was made at 11, 12 years old. Stop it. We played house. We played hide and go get it. Let's stop right now of pushing this narrative that his daddy fucking started. Family started. Let's also talk about my child going to Georgia for a month and them getting him kicked out of homeschool because they refused to let him do his work. They sent him to church, was trying to have like a priest tell him to say none of this happened to him. Literally was trying to get in his head and say, your mama made this up. A priest.
So she's come, just to get everybody up to speed. So she's fighting to get her child taken away from that home because she knows inappropriate actual stuff is happening with her child, right? And he takes her child to a priest to get the priest to brainwash and say that your mother's making this up. Strike two. Strike two. Strike one is you limiting the information that comes from the house after the nanny is accused of touching your shared child. Your response is to give the mother less information. And then your second response is to send him to a priest to get the priest to basically confuse your child, to accuse the mother of lying. Let's keep going.
A priest, not a tutor, a priest coming to my child in Georgia as he's running around on this farm, trying to force him to say on camera, because there's cameras everywhere, this didn't happen to me here. And you need to take care of this. Real chill, real lackadaisical, real like, oh, it ain't nothing. Huh? I find out it's nothing because he's done this before many times and has gotten away with it. Why? Because his uncle is a DA and everybody in Georgia knows this is what they do. Oh, okay. Well, now here's a trump card Because this same person, Callie, decides to go on YouTube and Facebook and started posting pictures and videos about what had just happened. And he also mentioned that one of the kids and their mamas was there. I knew he was talking about me because Christine had already left. I'll tell you why she left later. But she had already left. And I'm like, oh, hell no. I got to get the fuck up out of here. Because you're not going to sit here and call me like a negligent parent. Well.
Oh, so it's not in this part or in the next part. Okay. I'm going to tell you what happened in this section. So more comes out. Turns out, here's the third strike. Turns out the nanny was found to have been touching children and was discarded from the home. However, when Royce wanted to know the location of the nanny, Dwight wouldn't tell her. So again, protecting the nanny who touched your child. Want to share your thoughts? Because I know what my thoughts are. 3 strikes on my thoughts. Because why would you do that as a parent? At all. Make it make sense. It's given nanny knows things. You sent nanny away with a hefty paycheck to take the fall for the entire situation. Now, is nanny's hands clean? Probably not. Nanny probably does touch kids, right? But there's something not, what is it? Someone says, I think it was Imran Maradi says, something's not clean, milk's not clean, something like that. Anyway, let me just not take other people's sayings. Point is, something's wrong with this situation, because why would you defend the person who essayed your son? 3 times. So whatever she was doing in the house is given, in my opinion, that it was co-signed by Dwight. I don't understand why Royce is not picking up on that. I think that's quite obvious, right? Am I being crazy? Because I'm not understanding why she hasn't connected that dot. Because she's very much like, oh, the nanny did it. But, you know, I don't know why the Dwight isn't telling me where she is. And I'm just like, I don't know why Dwight is defending this person at all. I don't know why Dwight hasn't taken that person and dragged her through the court system. Can you tell me why none of those things are happening? And why she's being protected? I want to know that's what I want to know. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments, but it's very clear to me. It's very clear to me what probably happened in that situation. He has a history of essaying men and women, and now he's protecting a pedophile nanny. Let's keep going.
I was told I couldn't, which is really, really hard. I was told I couldn't put his name on the baby registry. I was told that
you couldn't put Dwight Howard's name on the baby? I
couldn't put father's name. I couldn't put the last name on my baby shower invitations. They were asking me to sign all this stuff, all these NDAs, and I was like, no. You know, his agent was offering to pay me to say that Merlin wasn't his. I have all, and remember, y'all seen my bag with all the phones and stuff in it? It's the same when it comes to email. Like, I keep everything. I have all those phones because I just wanted to have, I guess, a moment where even if I wasn't here anymore, if people found it and they were able to get into them, that they would see everything. Because I never thought that I would get a chance to really tell my story because, I mean, y'all have seen everything I've gone through throughout all these years, even with, you know, this injunction thing. And people ask me, like, don't you have a gag order? It's an injunction, and I was lied to about what it was. I was told it's just saying that you won't talk bad about him on the show. I said, well, I don't have a desire to do that anyway, because I was being told that the show was going to just show, you know, positive stuff like our jobs and stuff. So I didn't have an issue with that. So I signed it.
So Dwight's people gave you this document.
They gave it to my attorney.
He didn't read it?
He did. He had to read it. He had to have read it. He claims it wasn't the same thing.
But you thought you were signing a document just saying, do not talk about Dwight Howard. But instead, unfortunately, you signed a document that people call a gag order, where is it in perpetuity that you can't talk about him forever?
It basically is supposed to be like, it's so bad where it's like, if I'm even in the vicinity of someone talking about him, I'm supposed to leave. It's that bad. But I have a great attorney now. And it's like, you know, we're definitely like going through all the appeals and stuff, because clearly he's already in violation of it all, because he posts Braylon. He talks about Braylon. He's had Braylon on TV. So, you know, it's like, it's null and void at this point. And I think that's also why he's so scared of me talking now, because I was so scared for so long. You know, I would say little things, you know, just to kind of test the air. And then it was always still like coming back on me, because he was still baby Jesus. You know, it's the man who wanted to put the cross on the logo. You know what I mean? Like, how dare she say anything bad about him? It's been really rough. And even like when Mimi passed, which is one of the moms, we were close. And he had been trying to get everybody to come there for quarantine. And
so Dwight wanted all the mothers of his children to be together during quarantine.
yeah, because he swore the world was ending. The world is flat. Nobody's ever been to the moon. All this is happening now because of the sun getting closer to Earth. And it was all this craziness. But what it came down to was when Mimi passed, he called and he was so hysterical on the phone. And it sounded genuine. It sounded like he really did want to change. And I felt like I owe this to Braylon, because anytime Braylon wanted to try and have a relationship with him, I was open to it. It didn't matter what he had done to me in the past. It was about Braylon. And I just felt like I owed it to him to go. And we went. And my first night there, we had dinner, and they were saying, people were laughing, joking, playing around. I said, I'm sorry. I said, I don't want to dampen the mood, but what changed? Like, what brought all this on?
So yeah, she's speaking about it. She's speaking out now. So we know that her child was taken, Tiffany Render's child was taken away from her. He lied, took it to court, used the legal system to abuse her. Same with Royce Reed. Post-separation abuse all the way. We know there are indications that, that certain things went on with her son that are not above board. And we know that Dwight is defending that for some reason and protecting those involved in that for some reason. Y'all don't already know what I think the reason is, but let's keep going. People have short memories. I'm awake. Welcome. Thank you for coming in. People have short memories. He has been a menace for decades. We really put more on us, on victims to take all the right actions and rarely hold abusers accountable. Exactly. This is what pisses me off all the time. I'm seeing this over and over and over again with whatever is exposed. over and over and over again. People are not picking up what's being put down about these toxic, narcissistic and abusive situations. We've got TikToks all across the internet talking about how these dynamics are like this and that and breaking it down left, right, and center. And still, this narrative is still being spun. And still, the target has to take more weight than the actual. Do we even know if I didn't dig deep and get Royce Reese's videos up, we would still be talking about doing parodies about Amy in the car. We wouldn't even know about the stuff that he's been doing to past relationships as well, and continues to do in those relationships that are classic narcissistic responses. Abuse responses. Classic. We wouldn't know about her alleged essay, even though I believe her. I 100% believe her. Especially when they are wealthy. Exactly. That's why I said it's the perfect example. This is a perfect example of how the people who deal in this kind of toxic dynamic are protected. Because what are we doing? She even articulates how Dwight is being protected. How his PR team are twisting situations out of her own mouth. And we're still like, oh, well, you know, Amy should have known better. Amy should have got out of that. Amy should have saved those kids. Like, what planet are we on with this response? It's mass delusion at this point, especially when they are wealthy and successful. The logic never applies to them. Yeah, if you're so smart, successful, then why are you making poor choices and putting yourself in predicaments where women's can take you down? Exactly. If you're such a victim in the situation, a wealthy one with all the power, by the way, and if you watch any of my old videos, I always talk about the power dynamic. If you want to know who's abusing who, look for the power dynamic. Do not go with what he said and she said, because there's reactive abuse, there's all kinds of things that mess that situation up. It's impossible for a victim to not, or a target, I don't want to say victim, I don't like the word, it's impossible for a target to not start acting up in some ways when they're in a toxic dynamic. It's impossible for a target to not start acting in toxic ways. It's impossible. The longer they're in it, the more you are going to have human reactions to the situation. And that is usually the point that you're looking at it from. So you can't be like, oh, well, she didn't respond very nicely, so she must be part of. You can't do that. It's just very limited thinking. And I get so frustrated when I see this over and over and over again. And it's mass media pushing these narratives all the time. You see, and that's why I was stressing the bit at the beginning about that guy. I want to say his name's Dwight, something like that. I wonder if they have the same name. You know what I'm like with names, guys. I don't know. You tell me. But that's why I'm pushing that situation and stressing that situation with that guy, because Dwight approached him with the lie. And even in that content creator will not address the fact that that guy approached him with a blatant lie. What are we doing? What are we doing? And yet still says, oh, you know, I'm being impartial. What part of impartial is that? You aided and abetted a smear campaign, sir. Now, thankfully, that smear campaign got thrown off the tracks straight away, because Royce Reed literally confirmed that, yes, that child has been taken away, which is great. But do you see how, if Royce wasn't there doing that, that would have played out in a very, very different way? Guys, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section. Subscribe and hit that bell if you haven't already. I go live every Sunday at the same time. There's a time difference at the moment. I know in America there's a time difference, so it's early or later or something like that. And our clocks in the UK will change at the end of this month, so it's going to get a little bit technical and a little bit crazy for a minute time-wise, but hopefully you guys will stay on board. So in conclusion, I think Amy was coerced into taking substances for sure. I don't know how far down the track she is on that, but I think that she's down that track. I think she's being punished for breaking code, for exposing him with the attempted smear campaign and with the divorce. Now he's like, I'm going to be the one to go and divorce you first. When you are the problem, sir. You are the whole problem, but you're going to go and divorce her like she's the problem. Anyway, but that's the type of thing that they do. That's kind of thing that these toxics would do. Dwight has a long track record of abuse. We've just gone to the tip of the iceberg here. So anybody focused on Amy and what she did or didn't do in that video, or what she did or didn't say, is participating in the minimizing of the abuse, the redirecting of attention, the minimizing of the abuse of women and children, let me finish that, and redirecting the attention, because that's what toxic, narcissistic, and abusive people do. When they've got no argument, they redirect the attention to something else. So that's basically what his PR team and him are doing. And they're using us as pawns to do it. This is what they do. This is how the powerful are protected in the situation. As I end it, another very detailed, because Royce comes with the receipts. Well, not the receipts, but the detailed information about it. I don't know how many receipts she's got, but I trust her. And if she's wrong and she's lying, I will come back and do a video about that. Right now, I trust her. I support her. She's been going about this. She's been fighting for her child. She's done the things. And now Amy's come out to basically say the same thing. So there's no reason for us to doubt Amy or Royce at this point. There's no reason. We've got Tiffany as well, whose child was literally taken from her for literally no reason. So we've got 3 women, 1 guy. But we're supposed to look at Amy and say, wow, you must be crazy. I don't know what he was doing with you. This is insanity. Our society is insane. But anyway, let me get off that soapbox. A very, very detailed example of how powerful men are protected. Very, very, very clear example. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And yeah, thank you for joining everybody that's been here. I know those numbers have been going up and down. Thank you for joining, you guys. And come and join the Why Living community, right? I'm going to be promoting this for the next couple of weeks. $5.99 per month. It's the lowest it's ever going to be. I started off with the launch at $5.99 for a lifetime access. Now we're doing $5.99 per month. We'll see how this goes. So come and join today. Link in the description box. And yeah, that's it from me. Until next time, live boldly, live empowered, live from the inside out. Bye for now.
But you want to suffer. Trauma recovery. Yeah, trauma recovery. Toxic recovery. Trauma recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery.